Yes, it's such an honor to know that we are on this journey together of creating lasting marriages, of being the architects of lasting marriage and living marriage according to the picture, to the image that God has in his mind when he was actually starting marriage. We've had so many questions. We've seen your comments. Some of them are quite weird and crazy, but regardless, we move. Regardless, we move.
Something I love about my country is we happen to have mastered easy, as in you complicate your life, you die
I
with your
mean,
complications.
but for us, we are having
having
fun.
fun. We have, and I like that about Ugandans. When you go to other places, you can see it written all over their faces.
They're up in arms, fighting for
stressed,
serious.
they're depressed. They okay, they've been through a lot, but everything is just weighing them down.
Ugandans.
Ugandans, yeah, I think comedy sells more.
Stress is not our portion.
Yes, we've mastered the art
I beg.
of living a life, and I like
Day-
that.
day by
Sometimes
day.
sometimes you just need to live today. Sometimes you just need to live today.
But Uganda.
Life is serious,
Aye.
so serious that when it demands seriousness, whether
Yeah.
you like it or not,
You will be serious by
exactly.
force.
So
why
sometimes
not?
laugh? It's okay. It is okay. So manja, so what?
Ugandans, we are the queens of drama.
Nedda
We
bw'oba mmanja,
are-
so what?
I
Netekemu
know,
omugwa.
I know. Nja kukusasula lindako.
Nja kusasula nsitegenda koma kubanga omanja.
All right, guys. So we started on the last episode. We talked about the harmless friends, the emotional affairs, and the emotional affairs are becoming quite an epidemic here. It's more like a pandemic in the marriage world. And while most people dwell on the real cheating, the infidelity, the sexual, and I think we will have to explain the depth of emotional affairs because they are far-reaching than just the normal sexual affair or detached normal sexual affair. Yeah, so we are talking about that, and I just felt like reading a passage from Tears on My Pillow where we talked about the harmless friend, and the very last script on this chapter says that many who have found themselves in an emotional affair have told me they didn't seek it out, but rather that it just happened. In retrospect, they acknowledge that they were danger signs that they ignored along the way, especially as the contacts became satisfying and more secretive. Increasing secrecy is certainly a red flag. Another is looking forward to the specialness of contact with this other person more than the dailiness of being with your partner. It turns out that the feeling understood on the level of the soul is far more sexy than sex itself. Restoring such excitement to the marriage is the best choice for those who want to go on enjoying the privilege of having a partner and a marriage throughout their lives.
Absolutely.
It's not an easy thing. We are not here just saying that, oh, guys, it's just an easy thing. Wake up and do this and this and this. But we have taken this journey to understand the roots to emotional affairs and why they actually happened. And I think that is where we stopped last time. And you had talked about the unresolved issues, which is something that so many people are struggling with right now because of so many things that are happening. There is a way people are just disconnected. They're not resolving anything. Some of them are quite narcissistic. Some of them are toxic. Some of them are avoidant. They were never equipped with conflict resolution. And I think that is one of the things that we actually talk about in premarital counseling. And we talk about it, yes, even in the marriage, because there are those that didn't get premarital counseling. As in every phase of marriage, you ought to go back and look at it and say, how easily are we resolving our conflicts? And for me, I felt that was a very, very crucial point, turning point. If anyone wants to turn around their marriages, then they should not just push everything, shove everything under the carpet. They should be able to realize that these are issues that need to be addressed, and so they address them.
Yes, triggers. You know, whatever that kills something big, it's not that big.
Very small.
It's usually this small. The reason as to why it has capacity, I think you used an example where you said there are those friends who are
In the background, simmering.
Yeah, they are not so much present, but they're doing a lot of harm.
Yeah.
It's just like at home when Asahel goes silent for a while.
Oh, you start
We
getting
just
worried.
know disaster.
Yeah.
So you have to look for him everywhere. You'd rather that you know where
He is and what he is doing, or
than
he's
when
making noise.
Yeah, that when he's so quiet. Because when he's so quiet, he's doing
You cannot
more harm.
know what's happening.
No, he's doing more harm.
He's either scrubbing the toilet
So by the time you get there,
or burning something.
yeah, by the time you get there, water is all over the bedroom.
Yeah.
So some of these underlying friends, the so-called silent ones.
Marine. Let's call them marine friends, marine spirits.
Yeah.
Marine
By the time they
spirits.
surface, sometimes almost irredeemable. So when we say small, we mean what seems to be insignificant.
Yeah, today.
All that you need is to hear another and another story, and to hear another person's story and another person's story, and he will tell you that's what ended my marriage.
Yeah.
Nothing can be taken for granted. Nothing is small. Never, ever, ever allow such small loopholes in your marriage. If you have an opportunity to discuss
Do
them,
away
most
with
especially
it.
if you have a willing partner, one that would
Openly.
yes, dialogue, that is open to dialogue, sit down with them and have these discussions going. Have those discussions going. Then the other thing that I've seen that's very, very helpful, most especially in conflict resolution, is to belong to a marriage group. Some of the marriage groups, because nazo zirimu gundi
Zirimu ebizibu byazo.
ebizibu byazo, then ekirala, there are some who meet for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
You know, there are some marriage groups which are just about kunywa mwenge na kutamiira.
Yeah.
There are some marriage groups that
And they end up actually having affairs within themselves.
Then there are those that when you belong to them, there is sharing of a scripture,
There is praying,
there is
serious
praying, and then there is discussing experiences, daily experiences.
You have to be careful whose
where
circle you are in.
So be careful which one that you join. But they will be very, very helpful. And then it does not hurt to have a counselor where you go for therapy.
Yeah.
You
And
don't
open up.
have to wait until there's something alarming. You don't have to wait until there's something bad for you to have these conversations. As I said, there's nothing small.
Yeah.
So the easiest is have these discussions going. Every time you have an opportunity, mutula ne munyumyamu. And so it will be from the point of I don't like the name calling.
Yeah.
I don't like it when you do below the belt jokes. I don't like it when you make mention of certain things, most especially when they are friends or when they are kids. As in, can you be a little
Find
bit
a
more
way.
careful
Yeah.
with the way you address me in front of our children? Last time, in front of the maid, you called me this. It's from such conversations that you realize I did not intend.
That was not the intention.
Yeah, I didn't know that I was hurting you. I am sorry. I'll never do that again. You realize that?
Yeah.
You've solved a lot, but if you didn't, it will still be bottling up.
Yeah.
So at the point of overflow, what you get
It explodes.
is an explosion, and you can't even dig where it started, because sometimes we don't know that we are hurting others by the things that we do, by the way we address them, by the way we respond to issues, by the way we, as I said, we are totally different people, raised up differently and with different personalities.
Yeah.
So my personality could be colliding with yours, and I don't know. But it's from engagement of a conversation where you highlight something. And then when you have an opportunity to present some issues, please don't edit. Don't edit. Because some of us, when you edit, we take that as the truth. We
Instead
think
of the bigger thing.
we think that it's that light. So say it the way it is.
What's hurting?
So that now I have an opportunity to reflect and do better. If you don't,
Then I will
probably may
I
never,
can never be a mind
never know.
reader. That's true. And I think I had promised to talk about the unmet emotional needs in a partner, because we are talking about the roots for emotional affairs. And we've talked about, so many times we've talked about the 5 love languages. And some people, it's a very new concept. Like, people don't know that there's a love language that you can even have. Just like you have a personality trait, you can have a love language. And maybe your love language is quality time. And maybe your love language is touch, yeah, or words of affirmation. And you have this partner that does not, you don't know that your love language, your partner does not know your love language. And so but you feel this is something that you need because this is part of your personality. So just imagine someone else is complimenting you every single day. They know whether you put on a yellow skirt. They know your husband does not know what clothes you put on. They just know that she went out of the home and came back. They don't know what kind of hair you have. But for you, you thrive well when someone tells you you're smart. Oh, that yellow looked so nice. But there's this person, either at work or wherever it is, that is always complimenting. And you feel like they are hitting the right, they are saying the right things, okay? And before you know it, you are actually becoming friends. There could be quality time. I think we've had a lady, we've had so many of these scenarios, but this particular lady told her husband that, you know what, I mean, you didn't marry me to put me in the house and abandon us with the children. I know that your work schedule is quite tight, but you can never tell me that you are busy all the time, that you want, because the man wanted to marry her, like, officially, and she was saying no to the wedding. They had been together for the past 10 years. They have children. And the wife is saying, I want it to stay the way it is or it dies. I don't want to take it a notch higher, because if you've been treating me like this for the past 10 years, you don't, but for me, I'm working hard. What don't you have? You have like two cars of your own. Your children are going to the best school. And she was saying, that's not what I want. What I want is time with you. And so you cannot say, because I complained, you don't give me enough time and enough attention, and all of a sudden, boom, you want a wedding. I don't want a wedding. I don't want a ring. If I can't have you, then I don't want to be married to you. And so the man was in shock. Actually, it's the man who paid for the session. He's like, I want to marry my woman, but she doesn't want to marry. I was like, there must be a reason. Bring her. Let's talk. And the woman is saying, I don't want a ring. I don't want to fool anyone.
I want
at
quality
my place.
time.
I want quality time. If you cannot give it to me, then let's not get married. And for the man, it was a shock. I was like, other women are suffering. Other women don't have food. It's like, it's okay. Let's not eat food, but when you are here with me. And she was so serious about it. So you see, such a person, and I think you've usually talked about it, if your spouse stops complaining about something that they've been complaining about, be worried. Because if she's been complaining about not getting enough attention, not getting enough time, quality time, and all of a sudden, 5 years into marriage, 6 years into marriage, she has stopped complaining and she has found something to fill that void. Chances are she's getting into an emotional affair without even knowing that she's trying to fill the void. You're losing her.
Yeah, you're losing her.
So you shouldn't say, oh, thank God she stopped nagging me. No, that is not the point of thanking God. That is the point of,
what am I doing wrong?
What am I doing wrong?
What do I
think
need
my
to
family
do to claim back
to claim back the intimacy, to claim back my wife. And because we've usually said it, that a family, a home, a marriage is a crystal ball. When you lose it, it's so hard to gather it again. Our job is a rubber ball.
It will bounce back.
It can bounce back in another company. It can bounce back in another country. It can bounce back anywhere. But a marriage, once you lose it, like, it demolishes so many things. It
becomes very hard to claim.
Yeah, so the unmet emotional needs. Attention, understanding, affirmation, the 5 languages, love languages. I want you to be able to take an adventure and understand your partner and understand what their needs are, so that you don't let another person meet their needs. Some of this is what has happened. You have left your wife's sister to meet her need of quality time. And you have even given them money to go to Dubai, given them money to go elsewhere. You get it? But remember, her sister is taking note that she's not getting the time that she needs this side. She's void. So you don't know the kind of conversations that are going to happen. Could be with a best friend. You're like, with your best friend, okay, you go and have, a girl's trip with your best friend. You're avoiding doing what you are supposed to do
doing,
as a man. And now she's out there. They're going out somewhere. Someone is talking to her, and one thing leads to another. They're already in an emotional affair. They're exchanging contacts. They're on WhatsApp. They're on other platforms. She's coming back with a load of secrets, but you think that she's coming back as a wife.
Wow, it's interesting.
I know.
Really interesting.
But these are the things that seep into marriage slowly by slowly. And before you know it, she's minding about her children. She's minding about the things that concern her. But she has left you somewhere.
Someone has coached her.
Yeah.
Interesting. Interesting how the so-called small... because then you have a kafila called money. And you think... if you give her a ring, if you buy her another car, if you send her on a trip, if you do those feelers, then...
she's going to feel loved.
Yeah, she'll give you more space to do your
You're
things.
creating the distance.
But then you... not just the distance. You actually are getting rid of the bridge. So you need to build that bridge again. And it takes quite a while to build it.
That's if you can even build it at all.
Yeah, I know. So let's think about it this way, that the personalities, the love languages really matter in as far as a couple, a relationship is concerned. That it's only fair that you know their love language.
I understand them.
And try to...
communicate it, even if it is not yours. Because it's possible, with this particular husband, when I gave them the test, the husband was works of service. Works of service, he would rather they will have food for even 10 years to come. He would rather kids are in school. He would rather the woman's parents have a house. He would rather, like, he's doing all those things, and for him he's thinking, I am showing you that I love you, don't you see? And the woman is saying, the only way I understand that you love me is when you give me time. And it is a natural thing. Steyekoza. It is a natural thing. That she feels better when she walks with you, when she has the date nights, but for you, you work until midnight, and she knows, by the way, you're at work. She knows that there's nothing happening. There is no affair, nothing. She knows you are at work.
Neka Akati, in that case, don't you think that the woman also, in wanting the man to create the quality time, should also understand that the works of service is a good love language.
It has to be an exchange.
So I think it should be. That's
both
what I was
ways.
driving. So
that the man
it's
tries
like
to speak the other language that he doesn't know, and the woman tries to understand.
Yeah.
Now, most women try to understand. That's
do
why
they?
Can. Some of them do.
Okay.
That's why they can bear for 5 years, for 10 years. But they usually hope that this person is going to change. You get it? Now, that means it's not the typical understanding of, I know him that he's acts of service.
So when you have a conversation and you don't have language for it, but you can be able to call out what you need in your partner,
yes,
and give it a name, and your partner can understand,
it helps,
that all you're saying is, I appreciate the fact that you're providing the food.
Yeah.
I appreciate the fact that you've provided a roof over our heads. The kids are in school, but I miss you.
Yeah.
I just need you.
Yeah.
I want you. Can we create time for ourselves?
And then those will be, will you eat me? And then, even though on the weekends, in that same kind of session, this is what I discovered. On the weekends, there is actually no work. Some weekends, there is special request that ends at around midday. But guess what? He hangs out at work up to around 10 p.m. And he's like, but when I come home, she has conversations, and I don't want those conversations. Like, she's asking about everything. She wants me to go. She's updating me about things that do not concern me. So he would rather stay at work and have football conversations. Even when there is no work, he wakes up and puts on, and he goes to office.
That's a problem.
You can never be too busy
For your
At least
own,
create a Sunday afternoon. At least say we'll go to church as family. Some of them even avoid that.
Yeah.
They would rather be somewhere else with colleagues, but not be at church. Or even when he's at church, he would rather sit at the back and a woman sits in front. And the woman, all they want is touch, as in sit with me. When they joke about something in church, I want to be exchanging small talk with you. And the man is like, no, walk ahead of me, I will come.
a tight one.
Yeah, I know it's a tight one, but this is the reason as to why we have these conversations on this podcast, so that we will highlight some of the things that you didn't know, some of the things no one sat you down to tell you, that they are deep longings in people's souls. That if you can just be able to understand your partner and be able to sit with them, and some of the lasting marriages, when you look at them, what is bonding them is the stupidest of things, the silliest of things.
Just like what breaks them are the stupidest.
Exactly.
Or yes, the laughing
The
together.
light moments.
Yes.
Yeah.
When you can joke about a few things and
The
you
pillow
can laugh,
fights.
and then you can have those precious memories.
Yeah, that
of
means
your early
a lot.
days.
Yes.
It creates quite a bond.
Yeah.
And in the same breath, Hilda, some of the men that have that mentality or tendency, what they don't say is that they're running away from home for a reason. Now, it ranges from age difference, because some men have married very young girls, and the few times they try to hold a sensible conversation, as far as the east is from the west, so is what the man is saying and what the woman is understanding. Okay? In that, even if he tries to tone down, even the toning down,
It's not helping.
so sometimes it's from I'm better off away than be misunderstood.
But then how are you building a
No,
marriage?
I'm just that's
Yeah,
why
I
we're
get
having
it.
these
Yeah, I
conversations,
get it.
because maybe some people are
going
watching
through
and
this,
are going
yeah.
through the same. And this is real, because I've had these conversations with some men. Like, our age difference is 15 years. She will talk about soaps. Are they called soaps?
The soaps, yeah.
Yes, and she'll talk about celebrities.
Lorenzo.
She's talking about, but we are generations apart. And the guy is thinking about cracking the next deal, the next business, and
finishing up alone.
yes. And every time he tries to bring that kind of conversation, she either gets a headache or she walks away
Or she sleeps.
or she sleeps. So it's like
Or she's
the
on
best.
her phone.
The best is I have friends who will understand what I'm going through.
Let me spend more time with them.
I have conversations, constructive conversations with them than when I'm home with my wife. So my point being, sometimes they're running away.
Yeah.
Number two, sometimes it's because the woman is ill-mannered.
That's true. It's like that woman the Bible talks about.
Yes, she would rather have war and continuous war in a home
Then have peace.
The Bible talks about that woman who is like the constant
rain on the iron sheets.
So you want to choose your peace. Sometimes you're like, I'm better off away.
I'd rather come and start from there and quarrel.
Because I'll just not complain, but say something that will throw me into trouble.
Yeah.
So to avoid all of that,
just keep to myself. Yeah.
Abantu, people go through stuff, Hilda, that at times, that's why I say every marriage is different.
Yeah.
And God has done it that way for a reason. So God knows how He can help marriages. The best we can do is to discuss what we know and pick something that can help you. But when it comes to the actualization, every marriage is designed differently. And every marriage has its own challenges. Now, in a situation where a man feels I'm better off away, how do you call that? And he will tell you the few times I've tried to be home or even tried to get my family to go to church, we've only quarreled at church and fought.
Got out facing the other side and facing.
Yes.
Oh, Lord.
Okay? There are those women who are just.
Cantankerous.
Yes. Ntiye wabuba. Just you looking at. Even if it's in church,
A worship leader.
ngazina bulungi
Omutunuulira coach.
gamba nti omwagaza ki noli bwoto bwe watandika.
Katugambe kayero kakunyumidde nnyo.
So poor guy is like, I wish there was somewhere else I can look. So the best thing is tula walinga ntuleli, so that you can't.
Don't know what, you don't know what I'm looking at.
Hey.
I'm not even telling you, that yellow looked nice. So now
Do you even say that yellow looks nice? You just look there once, you look there twice. Never kusuna one. Wetegereza ki.
You're looking at Nyash. You go to church with shades that cover all sides. You'd be like, you're praising. Hey, guys, issues, real issues.
Yeah, there are real issues. And this all happens nowhere else but in marriage.
In marriage, yeah.
Marriage. What an interesting
I know.
project.
But,
What an interesting project. What an interesting project.
the devil is a
God
liar.
built marriage.
The devil is a liar.
It's a beautiful thing, but
Yeah.
hey, oof.
A lot of issues. Two people from different backgrounds have different love languages, have different personality traits. They have different ways of expression. Yeah, they have like different everything. But I also want to something when you're talking about.
There's something I saw. Was it on TikTok? Yes. They asked this old man. The man looked like about 90 plus years old. They asked him, "What is your worst regret in life?" And he said, "The woman I married." Oh my, that bitch did not keep quiet until she died.
Oh no. Oh no, that must have been a horrific kind of marriage. How old was he?
Oh, looked like about 90, 95.
95.
On a wheelchair, by the way.
Oh no. That means he endured a lot. But I want us to talk about there are also a type of people that I have witnessed that lack confidence. They lack self-esteem. They are constantly chasing for external validation. That one, you don't have to trigger her. You don't want to trigger him. Yeah? Because he doesn't have it, and they don't look at you as an external person. For you, the spouse, they look at you as an already in thing. They already have you. So they start chasing other external validations because teba wira. They are insecure. And so when a woman looks at him a certain way, the butterflies and the feeling a sense of importance and relevance, and all of a sudden he is hooked. If it's a woman, even worse, because when a woman lacks self-esteem and confidence, when another man tells her she's beautiful, oh my God, she feels like now that is, they have sparked off another thing. And all of a sudden she starts chasing after the honeymoon feelings of those squirming relationships and affairs. Why? Because they make her feel like she's important in that moment until that feeling dies off and then catches another one. That is why some of them will tell you that my husband has had so now who is he dealing with? Jen? It has been Rose, and then there was another one, and then there was another one, and then there's another one. Give them 2 months, that one will also die off. You get, and it's just an internal struggle that you don't feel satisfied with yourself. You must catch on to crumbs in order to feel any form of relevance. I don't know whether you've seen that
a lot, and I don't know if there is any actual realization that can come or play into situations like that. Most especially, I think I have experienced one person that I mentioned this openly, and I said, your dress code is a sign of what you feel
inside.
the inside.
Yeah.
And I said, you cannot compensate for your inadequacy
By dressing
by the
skimpy.
dressing skimpy.
That's true.
You are only sending the wrong signal. You
Out
are giving us the wrong impression.
I am a cheap, I am available, come for me.
So it even worsens when you have a partner, because what does your partner need? What your partner needs complement
Yeah.
and actual. You live your life. It's like, I don't want to be in a space of second guessing myself about what may or what may not, because that's what happens. It's like walking on eggshells. You have to be so careful. Well, because your partner does not feel that relevant. Everything that they do is not from in out. It's from out.
Validation,
It's just validation. So
See me, like me, comment about me.
Yes.
They will dance in weird, they will dress in weird ways, they will,
so
they will do inappropriate things.
Compromise, even if you compromise and you try to fit in,
You can't.
it is
For them, it's a hunger that can never be filled.
Yeah, it's not. You can't. It's a lie. It's a lie to live that kind of life, because you can't be consistent. You can't. It's a lie, purely. So the best thing to do is to have the hard conversation. That's why I started with the words actual realization, that you can have the hard conversations. But again, those hard conversations can end up the wrong way. Onogolina is already in. Okay, so that means buli kyayogera kyonna tekikye
Nothing, doesn't count.
What you need is external validation coming from everyone
Outside.
else. So when will someone inside who already knows you in and out help you?
Never.
It never happens. That means they try to speak up, you will silence them, shut them up.
They are nagging. You'll even abandon them. You'll even walk out.
So that means they have to stay in that prison or that cage for the rest of their life.
Seeing you self-sabotage.
No, it's not even self-sabotage. I don't even know how to call it, Hilda. Kubanga, I'm not comfortable, okay, with the way you dress. But I can't tell you, and I can't say it.
I know, because
I have to keep
it
quiet.
will not count. Yeah.
So when we get out there, I cannot defend it.
Yeah.
When my friends say,
Ask me. You have nothing to say about it. You're tongue-tied. It's a very bad place to be.
You get the point.
Very bad place to be.
Everyone thinks that you've already earned this place in her life. She
But
is
you
your
haven't.
wife.
You haven't.
Talk to her.
I know.
But you can't.
All because-
Instead, either you have to cover up or you have to lie.
or you have to avoid.
Or
sometimes even just pull out of the
So
relationship.
people at that point are like, I think Tim encourages it. What Tim cannot tell you is, I've been fighting.
And yet Tim is dying inside. Yeah. But this is a lost battle. Because how do you feel avoid?
When a person is struggling with the low self-esteem,
lack of confidence,
when
self-worth,
they are dangerous.
Yeah, to themselves,
they are
and
hard to deal with.
them.
They are really, really hard to handle. And when it comes to marriage, it's what everyone else says out there that really matters.
Yeah.
It's about what everyone else wants me to look like. It's about everything that's not fulfilled in my life, in as far as I am concerned, and I know that I will do to compensate. You know, that kind of thing.
I will spend money
You
that I
lie,
don't have
to impress.
to make sure that people tell me. Yeah.
Exactly. You put someone on pressure to buy you a car simply
I
because
know.
it is the car that my friends or my girlfriends drive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this guy has to either go take a loan. Yeah. He has to put up with a lot just to maintain something that is
A facade. It's not real.
that's not real.
It's actually not real.
So Biona, it's painful. I don't want to be in that place. I wouldn't want to.
It's a very painful
I wouldn't
place.
want to,
and I
because
wouldn't
it's a
even
lie.
want to watch anyone close to me.
It is
in
a
that
lie,
place.
and there is no marriage that can thrive that way. There is no relationship that can thrive that way. It's just a matter of time.
It will break.
To break. So the earlier you help yourself, the better, because why not live today? Why not enjoy the blessings of today? Why not be you at least for once? Being you does not make you any less. You trying to be everything else makes you less. Because then we're wondering, then, oh, Gwawa, who are you? Because you're trying to be everything that you are not. You are lying about a car that you don't have. That's why you are taking pictures at someone's gate.
I know.
That's why you are
And in this social media era,
borrowing from everyone clothes to take pictures
I know.
and look a certain way.
You go for trips you can't afford.
That's why
Hey.
you're fighting with a color. You would want to be a certain color
Yellow.
that you are not, and everything else, everything
Is
about you
screaming
is not
attention.
real. Everything about you is, I want them to appreciate what I am not, and I will do everything within my powers to live a lie. So what happened to today? What happened to living in today, enjoying the blessings that come in today? I mean, be normal, be you, live your life. There is no other day that will come better than the day that you're living in today. Otherwise, you're building regrets. You are piling up regrets. You are gonna hate yourself more because you will not keep up with that impression. You will not. It's not sustainable. It is not. It's just a matter of time that you will hit rock bottom and you will hate yourself even the more. The reason that's why there are so many, lots of suicides, people taking their own lives, it's because internally they're not satisfied with themselves. They feel like the world should perceive them, receive them, understand them a certain way, and it's not. And probably they have tried everything,
and it's not working.
Because that's how we interpret it. Loneliness. Loneliness is not out in. It's what you allow in the inside that will show that you're lonely on the outside. But otherwise, the world might call me lonely, but when I'm the happiest with my children at home, with my wife, I do not have to be in every club, in every event, in every social place for me to prove that I'm not lonely. There are so many who are in those places and they are more lonely. So I could be in my living room, watching a movie, laughing with my kids, and feeling
content,
full and complete. It is possible.
Because it's inside.
It's inside. But the moment you allow yourself to be defined by everything out there, in trouble.
It's not worth it.
It's too painful. It's
Not
really
worth it.
painful. Look at the celebrities. They're more lonely. More lonely because it's a facade, like you put it. It is a life of a lie. I can't show up in any place unless I'm dressed a particular way. I can't be seen in any place unless it is of this value. Even when you can't afford it, you will borrow.
I know.
Muni pola ya kakade, pola ya mtwala atano.
For hair, for nails, for
it's
food.
an impression you're trying to create that is not sustainable. It is a lie. Let me tell you, no one is celebrating you. They are not exactly your fans.
They have their own issues.
They are manchi baita okuwanika. Bakuwanika ne bakulekayo waggulu eri weka.
Kadala ne bakajjawo.
Ne bajja waka no wanukayo amagulu n'ogamenya. So weeyambe, go at your
own
pace.
That's true.
Go at your pace. Don't rush it. Don't be under any pressure.
Be organic.
Don't,
be yourself.
even if the circle of your friends now, going back to marriage, all your friends are driving and you can't afford a car right now, it is okay. Trust me. Ask the one who is driving. He cries in that car. They cry in that car and they cannot tell you. When it has a full tank, full tank. Nanonya ni walaga nga talabawo. Na parking somewhere in a cashier mall much building once na kabirawo ngalo ibimukabye bisinge motoka. So it is not exactly what you think.
It's not the external things.
It is not exactly what you think. So don't allow external validation or live
on those whims and temporary feelings.
Sometimes just kick it out and just be you. onyumirwe ku bulamu obere in the now, in the moment, like I usually do, where I'm like, I just want 3 pieces of cassava nga ate cassava nga omuzzeeko bampereko ebijanjaalo oba ebinyeebwa nembirya nentuuyana nempulira bulungi nentula mu ntebe yange
kyokwewanika ate nina kubeera wano
mukama oli mulungi oyagadde ttiimu n'obulamu bwobona
nosussa onjagala maaka ensusa.
Well, another one is stressing about the fact that he had cassava. No. He had cassava.
Nga ya nnaku awulira
ennaku olw'okuba ng'alya muwogo na binyeebwa.
I know. It's an inside
thing. Yes, it's an inside thing. Someone is celebrating and so happy. By the way, I am eating the cassava, but I can afford an expensive meal. But to me, this is more precious.
Yeah.
Why? Because internally, there is nothing more satisfying than me allowing myself to live in the now.
Eating what I want.
Exactly. So,
not because other people has.
A nice shoe does not define me. I define it because nza ajambala.
Yeah.
Waliwo abamu nga engato ze zibambadde. When you go in a place oyagala ogiwanike bwoti.
Bajirabi.
So you are defined by the shoe.
Yeah,
at what point will you at least allow the shoe to serve you? Eweereze gy'oli kubanga ojambadde tekwambadde. I wish you would understand what I'm talking about, Hilda. There are some people nga engato yemwambadde yensonga lwaki ayagala agiwanike ku mmeeza agikole bw'ati ng'abula kuteekako kalango. This shoe is 1 million shillings, 1.5 million shillings.
Ngawulira kyakabi nnyo.
Bw'oba oyambadde suuti toyinza kutuula mu ntebe n'oterera ku mukolo, oyinza okutambula n'otambula n'otambula n'okomawo ng'obula bagamba temundaba nti nyambadde suuti olwaleero mubadde ki nazze ku mukolo temundaba. Ensonga lwaki ogenda ku mukolo osuubira balina kuwa akatebe ka ku mwanjo ne bataakakuwa n'onyiga n'owulira ng'oyagala kufa omukolo n'ogukyabwa. You understand?
Olw'okuba onoonya validation kintu kibi nnyo naye because I know that we don't have that much time. I also want to talk about manipulators. Yeah? Because in this world there are also people that are going to manipulate. I have seen so many women being manipulated, or even men being manipulated by people who have a tongue, have words, and all they want is to fake an emotional affair so they can get what they want. It can be money, it can be a job, it can be a connection, but people have done those things. So now, for you fall in the category of people. The Bible talks about that she's taken to slaughter, like a sheep. They're taking you to the slaughterhouse like a sheep. But the other person has their own agenda. They calculated.
Yes.
And they're like,
it's a manipulation
game. To date her like this, take her to this hotel, and then I constantly keep in touch with her, tell her what her ears are itching to hear. All of a sudden, I will get into the first family. All of a sudden, I will get the car that I want without solo. All of a sudden, so you think you are being loved for you, but they are using you.
Yes. And all that they have to do is to give you a bit of recognition because they know you're that weak.
I know.
Only recognition will sweep you, off your feet. So, oyo kyetaaga bwetazimuwane mu dakiika 2 ajja kuba aweddeyo.
I know. And then they will give you whatever it is. People have been robbed even in banks. Yeah?
So the manipulation game is so funny. But if you paid attention to some of these conversations and listened well, you will never, ever fall for such stupid games. I think when we talked about the narcissist, we said a narcissist plays out a movie in their head. And they plan from when it starts, the introduction, okay?
Until they know
how it's going to close. So they follow the script and get you
on board,
hooked.
Properly.
Okay, so when you stop playing the character that they expected you to, because you've been watching Tim and Hilda on their shows, then they plan of how to exit you or to throw you out of the movie.
Yeah.
And that is the only salvation that happens.
You're no longer complying.
Yes, that's the only salvation that happens. That the producer throws you out, and you're like, thank God, on such and such a day, it ended.
Yeah.
Because this narcissist was about to lock me in with a ring, because we know what you want to hear. A ring. Why? Because all your friends have kicked the gown. They've been walked down the aisle. They are married. So you think that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
You watch our shows for some time and we will tell you
No, it's not.
it's the start of so many things. So walk in with the right person
Be very
or stay
careful.
single.
Yeah. Otherwise, marriage will burn you.
And it burns.
Marriage will burn you. And yeah, so there is that manipulation, and then some of these things look so subtle, but again, they've put people astray. People who are not busy with anything in their lives.
Yeah.
They are just redundant. They wake up to just go and sit at someone's shop, to go and do, like, they have nothing to do.
Yeah.
They have so much free time on their hands. Such people are very prone to emotional affairs because they are looking for something that will excite them through the day. And so when something comes, they feel like I've gotten something to do to keep me busy. And they will be very clingy that because they have so much time, they will expect the other person to also have so much time. So they will want either to be on phone, they will want to do all these things. Why? Because they have nothing to do. That is why I usually tell women, find a purpose. Do something.
Surprisingly, when you wrote the book Deliberately Selfish, because it was bringing awareness on from both men and women, and building worth or value for themselves, that this is my self-worth, and this is my value, and before anyone else believes in it, I should be the first person to believe it. So kyekayambako kyekino, I had lots of feedback coming from men who said, my wife now does not have to depend on me on the following, that choice of place to go, a movie to watch, work to do. Right now she comes to me with targets, the things she wants to do in a month, and I feel like, thank God for this book, or thank God for Hilda, that yayamba mchala wange
to understand herself,
and right now I'm the one who follows up to say,
to have a
I
sense
think
of
your
direction.
schedule is too full. Can you create some space for me? Why? Because there is worth, value, sense of purpose, and no one needs a burden.
That's true.
No one needs a burden.
That's true.
Everyone wants to be complimented.
Yeah.
What I would want is, if I must solve 80% of your problems, at least solve like 20%.
Yeah.
That's how we build up each other. But when
you let yourself go totally,
that's how you end up in that space of seeking external validation.
Yes.
Because there is nothing to your name. There is nothing. There is nothing that you contribute. You have all the time to do nothing. You have all the time to visit your friends who now are also getting tired of you. You understand, you're too available for what is important and what is not important.
Yeah.
Fill up your space. Fill up your schedule. Give yourself something to do.
And it will
keep
help.
busy.
Yeah, that's true.
Keep busy. At least abana waka fuko musomesa gwa basomesa.
I know, like find something. And
because all value can be noticed.
That's true.
We can be able to tell that there is value addition.
You're busy, you have something to talk about, you're preparing curriculums, you're preparing, as in what time will you
but
have
you
to
find
look for
a
things
young
that you
girl
don't
who
need.
even has a bachelor's degree, you understand, you're married to this guy who is giving you everything that you need, but find spaces
that you can
yes, and the way you will find them is, one, believing in yourself and saying, I should be of value to my husband and my marriage, so I'm going to find ways I can give that value. Okay? And you're like, for example, you're like, no, we will not hire a driver to drop the kids to school and pick them. I'll drop my kids and pick them. That is value.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So find spaces.
Do something.
Uh-huh.
Be busy.
Yes. And then we'll depend on you. We will look up to you and we'll feel
We'll
proud
even ask
that
for your opinion about certain things. But if we feel like you're just there, you just like you said, you are a burden. And when you're a burden, that means you're going to seek for external
Validation,
attention and
yeah.
validation. And that is how you end up getting into affairs that you are actually not supposed to get into. And I want us to come to a wrap up of this. But I just want us to emphasize the understanding, how people understand emotional affairs versus the physical intimacy, because I think we have so much looked at the physical intimacy, and the emotional affairs we have let them become an epidemic, because we have not noticed them, we have not caught them, we have not avoided them, we have not worked ourselves out of them, and we think it's only when something gets to the physical that is when it's very, very hurtful. But again, where does the physical start? It starts in the emotional. Before anything happens, there has to be an intimate kind of deep emotional connection that leads up to the physical. So just like you said, it looks like a small thing when it is starting, but that is where it needs to be sniffed. That is where it needs to be nipped. That is where it needs to be stopped, instead of letting it have a full-blown play. And I think that's how we better understand the heaviness.
yes, it is all built up. Someone called the devil, okay, puts up something in the spiritual and lets it unfold in the physical. And then
it's a process.
Yes. So when it comes to cheating, intimacy, sex, whatever, emotional, blah, 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 all that, there's nothing short of the devil working behind the scenes,
orchestrating this.
Yes, to finish you. The
kill.
word is to kill, steal, and destroy. So we have said so many times that when it comes to a marriage, God starts the marriage. God started the marriage. God is in the business of the marriage, and God wants the marriage to stay. So when you allow God to be at the center of it all, it will help you. Certain things only God can help you.
That's true.
Now, when God helps you, help yourself at least to obey and listen to the voice of God in such instances or such places, because then you are dealing with something bigger than you, and only God can help you. Though emotional connectivity and the act of intimacy can be two different things. Having sex and falling in love are two different things. That someone can have sex with you, but when
without
they are not
loving
when they are not emotionally connected
to you.
A best example are the prostitutes. They do it for money.
They don't need to be attracted to you.
The other day, when you put up that thing, when it went viral, some women were like, all that I need is a man. And what they are saying without saying is,
I don't love him.
Sikwetaga, I'm not
money.
interested in you, but at least you can pay the bills, at least you can blah, 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 blah. And what you need is intimacy. I'll give you the sex, go. So it's nothing less of a sex worker in a way. There's no emotional connectivity to it, but there is there are what we call covenants that are built, because sex is a covenant. Whether it was with emotional connectivity or not, it's a tie, it's a covenant that you live with. So don't play it out casually like the world thinks and suggests. Be careful with your own life,
but emphasizing
because
the
eventually, eventually what you call just an act, like you said,
a lot of
it
things.
is binding, and it comes with a lot of things. So you don't want to find yourself hoping from, there was a certain young man that we were dealing with that said in a week, it started as a small thing, was being abused by, I think, the mother, and then it became a habit. It became part of him that now he can't live without buying prostitutes.
3 a day.
3 a day. By the time he was at the university, he said in a day I would use up to 3 prostitutes, and sometimes
So
I
all
would
his
feel like
money.
techimala. So you don't want to end up in such. Just imagine that young man getting married,
Yeah.
okay, and he's marrying your daughter or he's marrying you. You know, you will never satisfy him. So only God can help that young man break or get out of some of these covenants. Only God. But otherwise, he is dealing with lots of skeletons
So some people
buried within him
are
and carrying
looking
with them
for
every
covenants
day.
that they have no understanding how far they're reaching.
So before you look at it just as an emotional connectivity, think of it this way, that it's very spiritual and it's very binding.
Yeah.
So whether it was just sex, it is binding. Whether it was with emotional connectivity,
Just emotional, it's actually worse.
yeah.
Very worse. All right, there's ways to move out of this. You can go for counseling. You can come for therapy. You can pray about it. You can have an open talk with your partner. As in, there are so many ways. But just like I said in the beginning, you are the gatekeeper of your marriage. So take care of your marriage. No one is going to take care of you. We are building lasting relationships and lasting marriages. And I hope that you can be able to commit to that and be able to work it out. We love you and we're praying over you.